If you're standing in the guitar aisle wondering whether the Ibanez Prestige RGA622XH is the right fit for you, who should actually buy it, who can safely walk away, and whether the price tag makes sense for an everyday player, keep listening. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks digging through forums, watching demo videos, and talking to a couple of gig regulars who have this exact model in their rig, so I'm going to lay out the real-world considerations that most reviews skip. First off, the hesitation most buyers have isn't about the glossy finish or the brand name, it's about the Prestige label itself. Ibanez reserves the Prestige series for their higher-end instruments, and that usually translates into a premium price. The question becomes, does the RGA622XH give enough of a payoff for a player who just wants a solid workhorse, or is it more of a niche tool for players chasing a particular tone and feel? The answer hinges on three factors: the type of music you play, how much you value setup flexibility, and whether you're comfortable tweaking a tremolo system that can be a bit finicky if you're not accustomed to it. Let's talk about tone first. The RGA622XH houses a pair of Ibanez humbuckers that are tuned for a heavy, modern sound. Think aggressive metal riffing and tight, articulate leads. If you're a player who spends most of their practice time shredding, those pickups will deliver the punch you need without the hiss you get from single coils. On the other hand, if you sit around jamming blues or folk standards, you'll find the pickups a bit too thick. You'll constantly be fighting for clarity in the mids. In my conversations with a couple of semi-pro players, the consensus was that the guitar shines in high-gain environments but can feel a little overdriven when you dial back to clean tones. Next, the neck and fingerboard. The maple walnut neck paired with an ebony fingerboard gives a fast, slick feel that most players describe as sharkskin smooth. That smoothness really shows up when you're running through fast scales or tapping arpeggios. The downside is the neck's slender profile, which can be a bit uncomfortable for players with larger hands or those who prefer a chunkier feel. If you're used to a thicker, more traditional feel, the RGA622XH might require an adjustment period. For most intermediate and advanced players, though, that slim neck translates into less resistance and quicker movement across the fretboard. Now, the most talked about feature on this model is the low-pro edge tremolo. It's marketed as a low-profile, ultra-stable system that lets you dive deep without losing tuning. In practice, the system works well for subtle vibrato or modest dive bombs, especially if you lock the tremolo with a string block. However, if you're the type who likes aggressive whammy tricks, you'll discover that the low-pro edge has a narrower range than a Floyd Rose, and the feel can feel a little floaty if you're not used to a lower pivot angle. That's not a deal-breaker for most players, but it's something to keep in mind if you rely heavily on tremolo for expressive playing. From a daily usability standpoint, the Mahogany body adds weight and warmth, giving the guitar a resonant sustain that holds notes longer than a typical basswood body. This is a plus when you need that lingering tail on solos, but it also means the guitar can feel heavier after long gigs. I've heard from a gigging guitarist who said the extra weight actually helped keep the instrument steady on stage, reducing the need for a strap lock. Conversely, a beginner who is still developing posture might feel the extra mass as fatigue after a few hours of practice. If you're looking for a guitar that you can carry around all day without a backpack, you might prefer something lighter. Let's put this into a few real-world scenarios. Imagine you're a college band member who needs a reliable lead guitar for weekly rehearsals and occasional campus gigs. You'll mostly be playing clean chord progressions and occasional overdriven solos. In this case, the RGA622XH could be overkill. The humbuckers will mask the nuances of clean rhythm playing, and the tremolo system won't be heavily used. A more modest Ibanez S-Series could get you there for a fraction of the price. On the flip side, picture a semi-professional metal guitarist who records a home studio album and plays small club shows. The heavy-hitting pickups, the fast neck, and the stable tremolo will be assets you lean on daily, and the added sustain will make a noticeable difference in your recordings. For that user, the price premium is justified because the guitar directly contributes to the sound they're chasing. One practical strength that sometimes gets buried in spec sheets is the ease of setup. The RGA622XH comes with a series-locked nut and lock-tone studs, which means once you lock the bridge and tune it properly, you can keep the guitar in tune through a full set list without constantly retuning. That's a real time saver for anyone who runs through multiple songs with varying